wherever you are. I'm definitely gonna flip the camera on the other side to show you proof that Neville Goddard was and is and will always be a liar concerning his story about Abdullah. Okay, and the very first building that I'm gonna show to you as a proof, this building has been here for over between 101 to 102 years, because it was just about 2 years ago, between a year and a half to 2 years ago, they were celebrating 100 years of being established in the island. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this first building, which is Neville Goddard's family building, and there's a change of name. The first name was Goddard's and Sons. Okay, so in a while I'm gonna show you this first building, then I'm gonna walk through the town, and I'm gonna show you some more of their buildings and their businesses, and I'm gonna show you the one where his father, Joseph Goddard, picture is, and the mission statement, which after the first video that I did like this, they stopped the public from going up there. Okay, and you cannot go up there unless you know the code, and only the workers know the code now. After I did a vlog just like this. Okay, so I'm doing another one, and I'm doing this one live for you to see. So I'm gonna just flip for you to see the building. This is the building here. Okay, it's a very long building, so I'm gonna show you from this is it from up the top, and I'm gonna bring it up down. Okay, this is the building right here. Okay, this building here, okay, it was first called Goddard's and Sons, and at one time the name was changed from Goddard's and Son to Shaders. Okay, but today it is carrying the name of Corey's. Okay, so for example, let me give you an example. Okay, the sun is very out a lot today. Okay, so for example, you can see you see Corey's Insurance. Let me start from up this side here. Okay, there's a lot of sun today. It's very sunny. So okay, so let me get closer and show you. Okay, you see it says Corey's Insurance. Okay, so here's Corey's Insurance here. Okay, you have Corey's Insurance. Okay, because they invested in everything. Okay, that's how the colonial masters have always been. Okay, they make sure they invest in everything. Okay, to control the masses as usual. So basically, slavery never changed. Slavery is still going on, but it's in a systematic way. You can see here some of the other businesses that's operating in the building. Yeah, you can see St. Vincent Jewelry and so on. Okay. You can see the pharmaceutical, if you want things, pharmaceutical stuff and everything, and all of the buildings they have pharmacies and so on in it. Then you have the Corey's Food Express. Let me show you the sign. This is the sign here. Okay, Corey's Food Express. Right here is Corey's Food Express. Okay, okay, and then down this part here is the store. Okay, down this part here is the store. Okay, this Corey's. You see, because of the glass here, you're seeing the reflection of the building back there. Okay, but you can see here my Corey's pharmacy, and you have the opening hours and so on here. Okay, but this is the building here. as I said earlier, this building, I'm gonna go another area and show you. Okay, this building was first called Goddard and Sons. Okay, I'm gonna go to the opposite side and show you the building. Okay. And as I said, it has been here over 100 plus years. Okay, because their family was slave owners. They had owned slaves. Okay, and they continue. Yeah, here it is. You see Curry's? You see Curry's Pharmacy up there. This is the building right here. I'm on the opposite side now, to the front. Okay, where I'm standing here, okay, before used to be where they used to have the Iron Man. I'm gonna walk down to the Iron Man and show you the Iron Man, okay? So all here's Curry's. Okay, this is Neville Goddard's, okay, family. This is the building here. And this was even before he ever meet Abdullah as what he states, because it's a lie. Okay. This was established here since around 1905. So you know that Neville Goddard is a liar. Okay. And his family has always had built certain businesses in the islands, because that's what they did. They leave their children, okay, to continue. Because as I said before, the slave trade never changed. Okay, just that the people, because of the colonial mentality and the lack of understanding of who they are, they believe everything that their puppet leaders, okay, tell them. That's why they believe that they're independent when they're still under crown. That is in England. So I'm gonna walk to you. I'm gonna walk next, and I'm gonna show you the colonial statue in the country that they fool the people with and tell them it represents people who fought in World War II and so on. And you will see the picture of the idol. Okay, and it's all represent the white man. Okay, so as I stated earlier, that was the first business that the Goddard family built in this country. So when Neville speaks his shit, he's telling lies. Okay, there have always been colonial masters. Okay. That's why I told you before that Neville Goddard family, they own slaves. This is the picture I'm telling you about. Okay, this is a picture of a white man. Okay, this is a colonial idol that is here that most of the people in the island do not realize. It represents colonialism. That's what it really represents. Okay, it's the picture and statue of a white man standing with a gun in his hand. Okay, and they told the people that it represents people who fought in World War II and so on, and they believe it. Okay, I'm gonna walk to some more of the Neville Goddard family businesses and show you. Okay, so as a matter of fact, this building that you're seeing right here, okay, they just had an election in my country Thursday night. Okay, and this is a picture here, and this building was owned by a former colonial master too. There is this picture up there. I'll show you a different picture of him above, okay, PH Vera. But I'll go a little bit closer and show you. So the people in the island do not understand what is going on. They're blind, okay? So, yeah, I'm going to show you this picture, and then I'm going to show you some of Neville Goddard's family businesses that they own. So, who want to believe Neville Goddard lie about Abdullah is up to them, okay? He knows that the day will come that we would understand the importance of Ethiopia, okay, and the role of understanding the Bible from a different angle. Here is a picture of this man, P.H. Vera. You see? Okay. Let me show you. Here's a picture of him there, and this massive building here too. Okay, he was a colonial master too, founder of P.H. Vera and Company. Okay. They're children of the slave masters, okay? And this is a massive building. I'm gonna go to the next side, and so you can get a better look of the building, okay? So the colonial masters, they're still here. They never left. Okay, but the time is close. We're gonna take back everything. You see this whole long building here. Okay. Our children gonna take back everything. We're gonna take back everything from them. Okay, this whole long building here. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the slave master children continue. Okay, in a systematic form of slavery. Okay, so I'm gonna walk down a little bit more and I'm gonna show you this other business that run by Neville Goddard family. But as I said before, they changed the name. Okay, they use different name, and they've been passing down from one generation to another generation to another generation. Okay, that's how they operate. Okay, and they keep changing the name. Okay, that is why before in the other vlog, and I will find that other vlog and I will show it to you. Okay, I will link it with this video too. Okay, as I stated, you could have gone. As a matter of fact, let me just take time out to even mention this. The building I was showing you there, which is PH Vera building, they actually own this whole block. Come down all here. This other building here, see it mark PH Vera Investment. This other one here, they own the whole block. Then after that, now I'm moving to that blue building, which is Neville Goddard family, also from Neville Goddard family. Okay, so as I said earlier, it was first Goddard's and Son. When I was a little boy growing up, we used to go to Goddard's and Son. Okay, yeah, this is the next one, the Curry's Food Mart. Okay, you see, this is not, yeah, this is like a supermarket. Okay, all this come from the Goddard's family. So don't believe Neville and his lie. And as I stated before, they would have set their foundation here over 102 years ago. He said he met Abdullah in 1933. It's a joke. Okay, so this is the evidence. I've always known about this. I've always had the evidence. I've played their game, wrote the book, The Black Mystic from Ethiopia, Neville Goddard Mentor, and in that book, I was just exposing the colonial masters for who they are, and many of them, they got angry. They say, oh, this guy was on low vibration, this and that. Okay, but here's the proof, and I'll continue. I will continue to show these kind of proofs. Okay, because evidence don't lie. This is another building right here. This one that says Curry's Ace Hardware. Okay, and there are many other businesses that's outside of the city itself, but this is another one. Okay, a massive one again. Okay, from the same Goddard family, and these families, like Neville Goddard and family and so on, they were part of secret fraternities and so on. So when Neville tell you all his lies and say he meet Abdullah and so on, he's not telling you which brotherhood he was a part of, but I know exactly which brotherhood Neville Goddard was a part of. Okay, and the woman who first published Neville's biography, she knows also, and she was the first person to mention certain things. Yeah, Ruth Broom. Yeah, Margaret Ruth Broom. Okay, if you go and research Neville Goddard and Margaret Ruth Broom, you find the evidence of the brotherhood that I'm speaking about, that he was a part of, and these families who had owned slaves way back, who continue their rulership and become the leading class, okay, people in the islands. And yeah, and they are throughout the islands. They are throughout the islands, not just my country alone. They're in Grenada, St. Lucia, Antigua, they're in Canada, and so on, okay? But this is how the Caribbean islands are. Okay, so this is one here, right here. Okay, and I'm gonna go over to this one to show you the next one, which is the one where I went up in the building itself and show you the picture of his father, which is Joseph Goddard. So the younger generation in my country wouldn't know the history of the Goddards. Okay, Goddards and Son. Now, this is the next, let me come, that you can see good. This is the next building here, over this side. This is a massive building. It go all the way back towards the the port. Okay, they sell cement, they sell steel, they sell lumber, they do all of these things. Okay, they have the pharmacies, anything you could think about, shipping company, everything. Upstairs there, let me show you. Okay, I think I'll take a little walk over here. Okay, and show you. Over here, this is the entrance here that I was speaking about. I went up there and showed the picture of Neville's father, and now you cannot get up there without a code. Yeah, this is it. Let me come along a little bit more closer. Right, this is the entrance. The entrance used to be here, and this door right here, and now they have a ATM machine now. Okay, the bank have an ATM machine here. Okay. But this is where the ATM machine is. This used to be the entrance right here. Okay, right here. This is the door right here. That used to be the entrance. Okay. And here now is where you have to go up there. And this is where they have you see, here's the machine here. Okay, here's the machine here. You have to put in the code to get up there. Okay, you cannot get up here. This is the entrance right here. Okay. But you cannot get up here unless you know the code to put in here. So only the workers could go upstairs there. Okay? But before I went up there, show you a picture of Joseph Goddard, show you the mission statement and everything. Okay? So when you hear me, speak about Neville Goddard being a big liar, and these people will always be liars, okay? And people thinking that Neville is putting a black man on a high place. When you talk about Abdullah, it's all a lie. I know it's a lie. Okay? But as I said, I was playing the game. I was just waiting until the right time. I'm going to show you some more of their setups. Right here is where they sell vehicles. Okay? You see some lumber there, but I'm going to come down a little closer to the vehicles. Here's where they sell vehicles. You can see all the vehicles here. Okay, here's where they sell vehicles. This is a big place here. Okay, they sell vehicles. So here are the vehicles here. They're into every kind of business you could think about. They're into every kind of business. Okay, they're into every kind of business. Okay, so here's where they sell a lot of vehicles. Okay. Then, over in this building, over here, I'm going to show you this building. This building you're seeing here again, which is one more of their businesses. Okay. This is where they control the geese line. The geese line is where they transport banana to England and so on. Okay. The King's Ocean Service and so on is where they control like the tour ships. When they come, they do tours and all of these different things. Couriers run all of those things. They they walk away from the locals and so on, and when the tour ship comes in. Okay, and this is where they wholesale and everything. Okay, this is where they sell their agent for Nissan. This is where with the Nissan area where they sell vehicles here from Nissan. Okay, so basically they control and run some of the biggest businesses in the islands, and most of the people who are employed with them, are very religious, superstitious people. Even this building that I'm standing up right in front of, you wouldn't be able to see it. If I was to show you this other building here too, right? These people, there's something about all of them, if you really study them, right? You live in a country that is predominantly melanated people, and all of these light-skinned people who you can trace their lineage all the way back to Europe. They have all of these businesses. They run all of these businesses. And we can run businesses just like them, but we have to wise up and change our belief system. Okay? The main point of me doing this is to show you that evidence don't lie. Okay, so I show you some evidence. I give you some evidence. There are many more businesses that Neville Goddard family, that comes from Neville Goddard family, that is not really here right now. Okay, I haven't even mentioned some of the businesses, to be honest, because there's so much of them. Okay, in every area you could think about, insurance, and any kind of thing you could think about, they invest in everything, right? So I'm saying all of this to show us that what we need to do is to take a pattern. Okay, I'm not doing this video just to say criticize just to expose Neville. I'm doing this video to let our people know they have to change their mindset from thinking that life is about go to school and get good grades and then go and get a job. No, it's about understanding that the word education, educo, it means to draw out from. And you have to go within yourself to find whatever is your gifts, whatever is your calling. And you have to get rid of this religious belief, believing that there's some man who existed 2,000 years ago and so on. And you have to get rid of all the lies. So because they study melanated people for so long, they know if you come out and you say, oh, a black man is who taught me this and a black man is who taught me to interpret the Bible this way, you're going to believe. And if you say it's Ethiopia, because they know the significance of Ethiopia, okay, they're gonna put all these things in their narrative. For example, anyone with common sense would realize that Neville Goddard would have read Lanyan Walk. Okay, I'm trying to remember his full name. Okay, but this man, Lanyan, okay, who wrote about a book called and there was a pattern. I'm trying to remember the name. Okay, but this man Lanyan, okay, Neville Goddard read his work, and the man who introduced Neville in England to psychical work and so on, he explained to him about bloodlines and so on, and he explained to him a lot of different things, which, you know, I know, okay, through the intelligence that is within me, through the DNA that we have, that they cannot erase. That is why we have to take back our power and we have to start building. And it's not going to happen from one generation. It might take 3, 4 generations, 5 generations. Many generations down the line, they're going to lose all these things they have. I can guarantee you that. Okay, these people are going to go a little bit distinct, and because they know they're trying to build all of these robots and this AI thing. And so when you see melanated people talking about how much million they can make from AI, these kind of people brainwash people who just seeing value as paper money and not seeing value as the real, you know, energy and the currency, and to build a legacy for themselves and for the children. You see, everything that I'm doing here is not for me. It's for the generation after me, okay? Because we have to be builders, okay? And it starts with the mind, being in control of our minds. Because if you're not in control of your mind, then people like Neville can come and they could give you Neville walk and you would believe what they say about Neville. Okay, but it's a lie. As I stated before, and I will say it again before I end this live, Neville got a family they own slave in Barbados. Neville's father knew the power of the mind. He understood the drowsy, sleepy state. He knew all of these things. The people who are actually running the entire region are these Ashkenazi Jews, these fake Israelites. These are the people who run in America too, okay? That is why right now, because people in the Caribbean are waking up, they're using Venezuela, okay, as an excuse to basically get the Caribbean people on their knees. Okay, it's a way to subjugate the people in the Caribbean. Okay, and they're doing so through the puppet leaders that they have. Okay, that is why all of these puppet leaders, they have to swear to secrecy when they're swearing in and so on. And they always have to repeat something from a book that is written there for them, because they're introducing them into parrotism, saying what you are told to say. That is basically a parrot. Okay, and they keep the people under the same kind of spell. And they will have them repeating every time they read, they say, "So help me God." And you believe that they're talking about some entity on the outside. But they are your dictators. So every president, every prime minister, the people choose their dictator to dictate over them. But you have to be the dictator over your life. You have to dictate over your life by being in control of your mind. So they set up the political system and the religious system to continue the slave system. So the president and prime ministers, they're the new house slaves. The preachers and the pulpit, they're the new house slaves too. Okay? And they make sure they put something in their constitutions to keep these things very prominent. They even introduce the religious system into the school system to continue the colonial system, which is a slavery system. But it's just been done in a more systematic way. Okay? So I'm just exposing this system that they're using to control your mind. So you wouldn't control your mind for yourself. So you wouldn't think for yourself. Because when you learn to think for yourself, you become more powerful. Okay? And you'll be able to run your own economy. You don't depend on politicians. Okay? And you control your destiny. You don't depend on preachers. You give both of them the middle finger. Okay? So, my brother and my sisters, here are the proofs. Okay? I'm standing right in front of one of the Goddard, business. Okay? And I've shown you many of the businesses. So, Neville Goddard is a liar. And I will continue to make videos about Neville Goddard and his lie about Abdullah. Okay? They know the time will come when you will realize that imagination create your reality. Okay? But it's not just you using your imagination, going around with doubt and fear and guilt and shame and having certain trauma. Okay? They know you carry around certain trauma from your ancestors. Okay? So that is why they don't mind sharing certain information with you, because they know this is the information age. Okay? And in order for them to come to this information age, what they needed, okay, it can only be found in Africa. What they need to have the cell phone and to have all of these different things and to give you social media and give you all of these things, they have to go and get it out of Africa. Well, Africa is a replica of that which is real within you. Get that? So you can go in Africa and you can get the gold, you can get the diamond, you can get oil, you can get rare earth minerals and all of these different things, right? All of these things is just a symbol of what lies within you. That is why it is in Africa. So most people get caught up with the continent instead of understanding that which is within themselves. Okay? So as long as they keep you distracted, okay, and fed you with all the lies, they will continue to rule. That is why I was just, as I said before, I was waiting till 2025 to really expose Neville Goddard. Okay? I wanted for them to celebrate 100 years. Okay? They had to celebrate 100 years. Okay? I wait until they celebrate 100 years. Okay, and that about maybe a year or two ago, okay, they would have celebrated the 100 years, and I was just waiting for the right time. Okay, so I did, a vlog just like this before. Okay, and then I did a continuation of it the next day, where I went up in the building and showed the picture of Joseph Goddard and so on. Okay, and then as I show you, you cannot go up in the building again. There's no access to the public again. Okay, but we have to expose these people, okay, for who they are. And I'm telling you, the slave master and their children and the colonization they set up in these islands, it will come to an end. We're going to rule again. The time is very short. Okay? So, with this kind of information, it's for you to take control of your mind. It's not just for you to get a big head. Okay? But for you to learn to control your mind. Most young people in my country do not know anything about the Goddards. Goddards and Sons. So when they look, they see Correas and they think it's Correas, but it's Goddards and Sons. Only the older generation know that it was Goddards and Sons. Okay? And the origin was in Barbados. That way most people know, but they don't know the whole history about the Goddard family and all the other families that is a ruling class in this country. all the so-called ruling class in this country are the children of slave masters that used to run this country, and they pass down secret to their children. And that's why the children own the most of the biggest business in the town. And it have to do with the Bible. And the people in my country, they go in church and making a fool of themselves, not knowing that the Bible is mind science. It's all about the mind. It's a book of mind science. But the thing is a religious book, and they be all religious and foolish and giving the power away. So this video is to tell you, take back your power and to prove that Neville Goddard is a liar. A big damn liar too. Okay? So someone is say, stop depending on, let me just read these comments and I'm definitely going to close, okay? Someone speak about, I may have missed some stuff. What did he lie about in regards to Abdullah? I show all the buildings in my country that was built before Abdullah. I show the first building, which is 102 years since they've been running business here. So I could prove more and more, okay, about all the damn lies, okay? As a little boy, I used to go to Goddard's and Sons. So you, wherever you commenting from America or wherever, they fool people like you. Can't fool me, okay? I used to go to Goddard's and Sons. When my grandmother wants something, they say, when Goddard's and Sons, the building is very easy to find it right in front of the Iron Man. They moved the Iron Man now. Okay, I show all the Iron Man, which is a white boy standing and a boy with a gun in his hand. And that represents colonialism. They tell the people, oh, that represents soldiers who fought in World War. And we never had anybody from here going fighting in any World War. Okay. Not until, that's why I don't get involved in politics, because not until you have radical people who are willing to pull down all of these colonial idols and change the name of certain streets, change the name of certain things that we're ready. Okay? And that's the only way I'll ever get involved in something like politics. It's to get rid of colonialism. Totally against colonialism. That's why they kill in Grenada, they kill Maris Bishop, you know? You see, they never want us who come from parents who they enslaved to ever rule. Okay? But the people are so blind and so brainwashed, they will never realize it, what is going on. Okay, so they keep changing government and they never govern their own mental. Okay? That's why they have a place in my country called Government House. And it's a crown there that represents England. Yet the people march every 27th of October and say they're independent. So I could show all the lies from Neville Goddard. So much lies. He's such a damn, is Neville lied. I always know he was a liar. Someone say imagination crazy or reality. It is working. It would always work. You can either create consciously or unconsciously. That's something that everybody in the world is doing, but many people are not aware of it. Okay? You see, knowledge is power. So you think Neville brings some sort of new knowledge from the damn brotherhood? Huh? You know what they call this kind of brotherhood? The great white brotherhood. No, they have always been a great melanated brotherhood. Anybody with common sense would know that. And it will go all the way back to Ethiopia, Sudan, all of these places that right now that the fake Jews and these white boy like Trump, which is using military forces against people who are afraid of death. But when you're not afraid of death, and you know this wall right here is an illusion, and this is the wall a lie, then you realize that the Bible is actually a book of lies. That's why I tell you that you must call those things that be not as though they are. That's why I tell you that you must decree a thing and it will be established. And it tell you that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. It's a book of lies. So not until people realize that it's a book of lies, but out of the lie comes the truth. Out of the darkness comes the light. So darkness matters. But many people haven't been taught to embrace darkness. They've been taught to embrace light. Look at all of these old men driving, going to church because they're still brainwashed. They're still carrying what? A colonial mindset. So that's why I have to show you all of these buildings right here. So when you hear Neville Goddard talking, Neville Goddard is a liar. Okay, it's just that the younger generation in my country do not know anything about the Goddards and Sons. So now he carrying the name Corres. Okay, but from the slave master, it passed right down. Okay, so in 1905, they established themselves here okay, from Barbados, the Goddard and Son established in the different islands, and they come over here in 1905. Okay, so when Neville say he met Abdullah in 1933, and his brother was using imagination in 1920, people were stupid, you know. People don't think. And in 1922, they got the building. People not thinking. People not thinking. So these families are families from ex-slave masters who passed down secret to their children, okay, to continue ruling in the islands. Okay, so nobody can fool me. Someone here say, stop depending on a human. They will always fail you. As a matter of fact, we are not human. You're spirit to begin with. You're just having a human experience. Someone say, time to get yourself right with God. This person here talking shit. You see, when you brainwash, you would say that you're human. Okay? And you're gonna say what they tell you to say. This person doesn't even know that Jesus Christ represents your body. Jesus represents your body, the man. And Christ represents your non-physical self. And that is you. So you have to get right with your own self. When you get right with yourself, that's when you get right with God. Okay? And he talking about time is short. There's no such a thing as time. They just use the sun to give you a sense of measurement concerning light and darkness. There's no difference between Monday and Tuesday. There's no difference between Wednesday and Thursday. There's no difference between Friday and Saturday. It's basically light and darkness. Okay? That's all. And out of the darkness comes the light. So not until you learn to become delusional in a real way that you will be able to expand and grow and become prosperous, because you have to become delusional. And that's why they're not teaching you, because the Bible is a book to teach you how to become delusional, but you're becoming delusional in a different way. That's how it is. It's just the law difference. Okay, or the law of opposite. The law polarity. So when you understand the law polarity, you realize that these people have to do what they're doing. They have to do it. It's not a if, there's not a must. The if or a but. They must do it. It is law for them to behave that way. Anyone who looking for peace and looking for utopia, you're stupid. Anyone who looking for a good life after they leave here, a life in some sort of paradise after they leave, you're stupid. You're dumb. Yes, I'm saying Neville took someone's work. Yes, I'm saying that Neville Goddard come from a family that was slave masters, their own slave. I could prove everything for you. As a matter of fact, I will go back and get the work I did before on the newspaper from Barbados when Richard Goddard died. I have the link, and when I did a video just like this before, when I did a vlog just like this. So I would go back and get it. I'll just go back on the channel and go back a couple years back. So I will have to go back and get it when Richard Goddard died. Okay, and he tried to say they were forfeited from land and four servants or four slaves. Okay? Someone says you are wrong. I don't feel sorry for you. I can hardly understand you. Okay, because what I'm saying is not for you. I don't want you to understand me. Understand yourself. Okay? And people will always come and try to defend the lies when the white man come and he tell his lies. Okay, like when Neville Goddard come and tell his lies. You see, what people do not know is that their mind has always been creating reality, but it's been creating it unconsciously. So that is the law. So everybody in the world is involved in the law. But when you come to the promise and you realize that you could give birth from your skull, and you realize that you are God in flesh, that's what they don't want you to know. So all the melanated people worshiping the white man as their God, calling on Jesus. That's what they're doing, but they don't know because they're stupid. They give them an idol to worship that doesn't look like them. If you can't look in the mirror and see God, you're dumb. If you can't look in the mirror and see the devil, you're dumb because it is you. Everything takes place in your mind. Once you're in control of your mind, The more melanated people take control of their mind, is the more these people gonna diminish. Because they're living off your ignorance. That's what I'm saying. They're living off your ignorance. They're making you the slave and they be the master. Do you realize your body, the head is the place of the master. And below your shoulder is the place of the tail, and that's where they have you. That's why with all the shadow banning that YouTube doing with me, they can't shake me because why I do not depend on a paycheck from YouTube. Okay? I don't come on here for views and try to make money from YouTube. Okay, because when I started doing my channel, I didn't even know anything about YouTube and making money. So that's why I don't give a damn. I speak whatever I feel led to speak. So people say I'm wrong. Prove the evidence. Look, are they right in front of one and Neville Goddard family building it with a change in it? Somebody peace and blessing, family. Shine on. Thank you very much. I gotta keep shining. Okay. So, my brother, my sisters, for those who have catch this live earlier, I show you the other buildings. Okay. And if you want me to take out photos of these buildings, I can take a picture of these buildings and put them on my thumbnail and so on and continue to expose Neville Goddard and his lie. I'm not going to stop exposing Neville Goddard and his lie. They try to use AI now and try to show you a black man, okay, and say that is Abdullah, and even have him as if he's speaking and using AI. Okay? So, my brother, my sisters, let me just click back here so you could see me. Okay? I would always tell you the truth, and I will always share the truth with you. And from time to time, I will continue to show you these businesses. I might have to travel out of town too and show the other businesses that they own. And show you that it is economic, it has always been with us, the economic slavery. That's why they make sure in the school system, they have the religious system. But these people, they're animals. And they have to fall. They have to fall. Not until our people realize that death is not real. And they start being fearful of death. That will bring these people to their knees. Because these people want to always keep in slavery. Mental slavery. Okay? So my brother, my sisters, as I said before, and I say it again, Neville Goddard equal Neville liar. He's a damn liar. Just like Christopher Columbus, damn blasted liar. I'm exposing them. Even this bill I'm standing up in front of. This is another Redskin family too, you know. And he come from a hill up there, so he called Dorset Hill. That's where they leave a lot of the children and them. Okay. Man, I could go into a whole, watch me, I could write over the whole history of my whole country. They have the people normally go the 4th of March up in Dorset Hill, where they leave all of their children, the ex-slave masters, and tell them that how the national hero bury up there. And the politicians will go up there and fool the damn people and know exactly where the national hero is. It's a place where they always go make video all the time, you know. That same places where they have the so-called Governor General who represent the freaking Queen in England. You understand? And represent Buckingham Palace. Right above where the real hero used to be and what I know going on but a particular place there. And next to that, next to they have the judge's court. Where they have the house, like where they just keep like the person who's the judge and so on, a special house. Then you have the Anglican church and so on, the top churches and so on. They have their offices up that same area. So I know what I'm talking about. And then they have the house where the prime ministers live over the next side. Me stupid. I can't be fooled. I already wake up. And that's what they don't want melanated people to do. When you wake up, they can't fool you. So, Neville Goddard ain't no hero. Neville Goddard legacy ain't no real legacy. Neville Goddard was no real philosopher, as what they're telling you, and no real mystic. You have a real mystic standing before you here. You understand? Why you think Neville got all the experience we talk about the boat from the skull? He never talk about the eye. Why you never talk about the eye? And I just talk about the eye. The eye, yeah. They know they can fool. Okay? Even the crown, the Prime Minister, the new Prime Minister for my country just swear in Friday gone there. Just Friday. Okay? Which was a holiday because election night was Thursday. And I don't deal with them thing, right? And when he was swearing in, I could watch the crown right there and I could see the eye too. And I could see all the symbol on the crown, but people ain't watching those things. And I've been reading from a book and saying, so help me God. So help me God. You could ever say me and not referring to yourself? He's no God over the people and them who give their power away. Thinking, looking for better. Because one promising you a good life while you're here, and the other one promising you a good life after here. I want the good life here. That's why I live in the good life. Nobody can control my mouth. Free speech. So even if they try to censor you on YouTube and all of that, got the fake Jews, the fake Israelites who running all the games, running NBA and all of them things, NFL, all those things. They behind all of those things. Social media, all of that. Okay, but I'm telling you, the time must come to an end. Even the longest rope have an end. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I know a generation will come and they'll benefit from what I'm doing here. So I will speak the truth until the day I leave here. Okay. So my brother and my sister are gonna do another live on my other channel, and I'm going in the same area. Okay. I'm gonna try from here and go up in the same area we're talking about, which is a special area, but they don't want people to know it's a special area. So when the tourists comes in this country, they go to that area, they call these places of interest. All the places in my country that I refer to as places of interest, I can tell you why they call them places of interest. And they gave the tour guide certain things to say. The same people who set up these things, give the tour guides things to tell the tourists when they come. And it's they themselves, their own forefathers and ancestors. Put those things in writing to tell their own children, and some of them who know, they will laugh at these tour guys. Talking about yesterday, this country, it's all bullshit. Okay, so my brother and my sisters, don't make Neville Goddard lie to you, man. I have the proof. See, I'll show you all the businesses. I'll show you the first one. The first one I'll show you up there. Go back to the video if you don't find the video. And you see the first building I'll show you. Okay. Another time I'm going to do it again when the sun is not out so much. So you can get a better picture of what I'm talking about, and you can see the building in them better. Okay, I'll definitely do that. So my brother and my sister, I really want to thank you all very much for tuning in. Okay, I want to say to you, stop believing that Neville Goddard is talking the truth. When he talk about Black Mystic from Ethiopia, he's a damn liar. Okay, that's the main thing I'm telling you. He's a liar. He came from a family that owned slaves in the Caribbean. And that is the pattern throughout the entire Caribbean, not just my country alone. I guarantee you go to any Caribbean island, you'll see the ruling class is these light-skinned people. It is because of what their forefathers would have done. Okay, and they set up a so-called governmental system, a school system, and a religious system. And these three systems are what they use to continue slavery in a systematic way. And I free. That's why none of them write me a paycheck. None of them write me a paycheck. Okay, none of them. So I know what I'm speaking about. Okay? Because when you understand how your mind works, you don't work for money again. Money work for you. It are people right now who should be home with their families. And then at home with their families, they have to be working because why? They are slave to money. Instead of they make money, they are slave. Because of the belief system. Because of the belief system. The brainwash belief system they give them. How they misinterpret the Bible to control the people's mind. So Neville Goddard did not bring anything new to you. Don't make Neville Goddard fool you. The older generation in this country knows about Goddards and Sons. That was the name of the first business before they changed it to Traders. And then Correys. And that's the biggest business in the country, so you can't fool me. And Neville never tell you all he was a part of a secret brotherhood. That's why YouTube shadow banned me, because I exposed that he was a part of a secret brotherhood. I'm telling lies. I'm talking about he was taught by some black mystic from Ethiopia. He lied. These people would lie because that's how their survival works. Okay, so let me come to a close, but let me say this: the more wiser melanated people become, is the more weaker these pale-skinned people gonna become. Okay, they're not more intelligent than us. We are more intelligent than them. But they fool the masses. That's why most people in my country telling their children go to school and get education and go get a good job. Then I teach them the power of their imagination. Then I teach them that. Then I teach them to find their gifts. Then I teaching them that. And they turn around and they call me a crazy man. And all the people on the internet who never travel to this country and who doesn't know anything about the Goddard family and who doesn't know about the Goddards and Son businesses that they had throughout the islands, before they changed them to different names. They on the internet talking shit because you could feed anybody with any shit on the internet. But look, I provide the truth. Look, I show you all the businesses. And I will do it again and again and again and again and again. Because he's a liar. I will destroy his so-called legacy. All who build think Neville has some sort of great legacy. He has no legacy. He have no legacy. It built on a lie. Everything these people do, it built on a lie. Everything is built on a lie. So, stop following Neville Goddard and believe Neville Goddard and his lies. He was never taught by no black mystic from no Ethiopia. He lied. His family did own slaves. And look, they have the businesses right here, right now. And I just show you some of their businesses. That was here since 1905. All in 1900s. Then he tell you how we meet Abdullah in 1933. Damn liar. Anybody with common sense would know. How could Neville brother, right, visualize for 2 years to see his family name on a building if he didn't have esoteric knowledge? People have to learn to think. People have to learn to use their mind. You have to learn to utilize your mind. It's the greatest asset you have. How could his brother in 1920 to 1922 was visualizing that his family name on a building if they didn't have certain knowledge? Esoteric knowledge. I know all the things I achieve and I visualize them for a certain amount of time too, because I understand how the science works. So when he trying to talk for black people and tell them why a black mister from Ethiopia go teach a white man, and the white man family own the biggest businesses in my country, and people believe them foolishness because why? You people in America, many of you never travel outside of America. Some of you never travel outside of Canada. Some of you never travel outside of England and all of these different places. Black people talking to melanated people. Some of you never travel go anyway. But look me right here in my country, showing you all the businesses from Neville Goddard family. Telling me about. You want more evidence than that? Which more evidence you want than that? So I can definitely come to a close, man. Almost an hour, I will come to a close. Someone asked me, how does the science work then? Or you expect me to just stay and tell you how the science work? You know how much I break down and explain, me have to explain to you, for sure how the science work? Just put it to work. Start to visualize what you want and believe it. And go beyond believing it. You have to learn to feel it. But even till you try to do that, and your family pass down certain things to you, carrying down certain chamas, you still believe that there was a man 2,000 years ago named Jesus. You still believe that there's some man in the sky named God. If you still go around and kind of believe, then nothing gonna happen to you. They're gonna block you. Because they brainwash you. They brainwash you from a child, so you won't believe in yourself. You think anyone could come and tell me about God? I know that I am God. I believe. I know. Anything I want, I create. That's why nobody write me a check. Nobody have to write me a paycheck. I could give the preachers the middle finger, and I could give politicians the middle finger. I don't depend on none of them. Because I understand how my mind works. I understand how the reticular activating system works. I understand the science, I understand spirituality, and I understand myself. That's the most powerful thing. Knowing yourself, knowing who you are, that's the most powerful thing. Knowing who you are. When you know who you are, you get anything you want in this world when you know who you are. But when you don't know who you are, you chase money. I don't chase money, I chase wisdom. The money follow after. They make you to a walk, make you into a walker. The school system make you into a walker, a slave, an obedient one. The paycheck they give you, your first paycheck is the poison. They give you to keep you a slave, a paycheck slave till the day you die. What are you telling me? You come in this life to be a paycheck slave till the day you die, and then you wait for pension, and then you have to tell me, oh, God is good. You're going to get a good life when you leave here. Bullshit. They live in the life. You go to any resort in this country here right now, it's black people starving and the white people lying down in the sun. Go get me book called Wukumembe Resort and the Messenger. I see when I walk off a day, I tell them I may no indentured servant. And I don't have no slave mentality. So my brother and my sisters, as I come to close here, okay? I would encourage you to get my books, okay? Spiritual Recipe for Better Living. Read that book and you will realize that the Bible is all mind science. Get my book, Meditate to Eradicate Poverty, and you will realize that when they tell you to educate, to go to school, for get rid of poverty, is a lie. Some of the richest people in this world, they have no education at all. Teach your children. Be very observant of your children to know as they give. And that's going to open all the doors and opportunities for them. It's not academic education. Sometimes I drive around in my country and I ask myself, how did we allow ourselves to come to this place? All of the stores and so on owned by people from different countries who come in here, you know? Because of how we were brainwashed from school. Tell people school will make you fool. If you ain't be careful, school will make you fool. You have to teach your children from home. Even if you're sending them to school, teach them from home. You have to educate your children from home. So they learn to believe in themselves. So my brother, my sisters, I'm not gonna go beyond an hour, okay? Because I have to do another live on my other channel. Okay? But when you see YouTube want to censor you, when you see they want to shadow ban you, it is because you're speaking a lot of facts. And you can weaponize people by empowering them concerning their mind. So So, as I said earlier, Neville Goddard is a liar. Don't make it fool you. His family been setting up business throughout the islands since in the early 1900s. Okay? And then he tried to play with the minds of black people to tell them was a black man who teach him the secret of the Bible. He lied. He was a part of a secret brotherhood. And I could provide the evidence. Margaret Root Broom. Go right now and type it, Neville Goddard and Margaret Root Broom. And you will see which one the secret brotherhood he did belong to. Don't test me. People don't test me. The next channel that I'm going on live is Black Mad Guru. That's my next channel. Okay, so I'm going to leave it. Okay. It's just about 5 minutes drive. Okay. And I'm going up in the gardens. Okay. Up in nature. Okay. To do that next live. I'll be speaking about what's happening in Venezuela. Okay. And what happened in Gaza. And show you what's going on. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about. Okay. So Neville Goddard is a liar. And I'm going to continue to do videos exposing Neville Goddard, his lies, and provide all of the facts. Okay, so there's no more facts that me showing you the buildings that Neville Goddard family own and how they own them before 1933. They own them long time ago. Okay, and I provide all the facts to prove to you that Neville Goddard family did own slaves. They came from England. And they did own slaves in Barbados. And they continue to own slaves throughout the islands. But it's a different system set up to own slaves. All of these resorts that you have in all of the islands and the investors, they're slave masters. It's just a systematic way. So it's systematic slavery I'm exposing. Okay, when I expose Neville Goddard and his whole family and he lied. But he been taught by Abdullah, a black minister from Ethiopia. And I can't tell what Abdullah's second name is. He's a liar. Okay, so my brother and my sisters, I really want to thank you all very much for listening to me. I'll definitely see you on another live, and I'll definitely encourage you to check out my books and support this work. Okay? Because I need your support as well as you need this knowledge. And put this knowledge of self to work consistently. Be very conscious of how you go to bed every night. And be conscious of how you awake. And that will start to help you to shape your life. And the more awake you become, you will see the ills of colonialism. The more awake you become, you will see Neville Goddard and his lies. You will see Napoleon Hill, Carnegie, all of these people and their lies, JP Morgan. You see all of these people and their lies. You will see that secret they were keeping away from the masses all the time. And now these secrets have been revealed. And they're so simple that people cannot believe. Because they have never been taught to believe in themselves. Believing in yourself is the most powerful thing on this planet. Never be afraid to reject Jesus, which is a lie. I'm talking about the pale skin Jesus they give you. The only Messiah that you must accept is yourself. That's the only Messiah, the one you see in the mirror. That's the only Messiah there has ever been and will ever be. You're the one who have to prophesy over your life. You're the one who have 12 disciples, which is 12 qualities following you wherever you go. A disciple is a follower. And what follow you wherever you go, it is your own thoughts that follow you wherever you go. An angel is a messenger. And what bring message to you and from you is your own thoughts that bring message to you and from you. It's a story about you and your mind, how your mind works. The Bible is a book of mind science. Don't let nobody fool you. There's nothing you could say in this world that doesn't come from the mind. There's nothing you can do in this world that doesn't come from the mind. It's all about the mind. Here where it is, the mind. This is the powerful thing, the mind. Once you own your mind, you could bend reality to your will. Once you own your mind, you could bend reality to your will. This is not a man just talking. This is a thing that I've done over and over and over and over again. Once you learn to control your mind, you could bend reality to your will. But of course, you have to get rid of your belief system, the stupid belief system that they give you. Straight from the plantation. They give you a stupid belief system, believe that there's some man going to come from the sky to save you. They make you believe that there's some man who died on some cross for you. Your body is the cross on which you're gonna die. So you have to take control of your mind. And once you learn to take control of your mind, you'll be able to get anything that you want in this world.
Okay.
You'll never be a slave to money again. Money will become your slave instead. Instead of money become your master, you become the master of it. Most people in my country take the vaccine because they have loans and mortgages with the bank. Yet they're going to church every Saturday and Sunday. Because why? They're slaves. In their mind, they're slaves. They're not free. And you are free, they will tell you you're crazy. So, my brother and my sisters, Neville Goddard is a liar. A big liar. And I'll continue to expose him. Okay? Yeah, your mind state represents your mindset. Okay? And your mind is your business. Yeah, that's why old people normally say mind your business. Your mind is a business. Someone asked me why am I shouting with all these vehicles passing, okay, and they making noise. I have to make sure I get the message across, so I have to shout, okay. And most of the time when people complain about shouting, most of the time is a different race of people who always don't like to hear us shout. You know, our voice is our power. One of these days we're gonna shout. We're gonna shout and bring all the walls down. The walls of Jericho just by our shouting. So my brother and sisters, I want to thank you very much for listening to me. Okay, I'll definitely see you on the other live on my other channel, Black Mad Guru. Okay, peace, love you all. Out.